meetings, and she must be able to assist her lawyer so that there can be disagreement between both the prosecutor and the defense as to whether she can do that.
And it appears that there was some confusion and discrepancies between these doctors who first analyzed Andrea Yates while she's been in prison. What sort of confusion would there be about her state of mind?
Two people can take the same set of facts and see them differently based on all the records and all of their interviews. So it's quite possible to have two different opinions from very reputable forensic psychiatrists.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Morgan, you were just getting into the standard of what is competent. What does the jury have to decide here about Andrea Yates?
They have to decide that she's capable of understanding what's going on in the courtroom and that she's able to assist her lawyers.
Does that have, so that really has more to do with her state of mind today and not her state of mind during the act of killing children?
Correct. It's only for today. It's her state of mind right now today. The other, what her state of mind during the incident, that's a totally different subject.
A totally different matter. All right. Family is being called to testify during this competency hearing. What sorts of questions are they likely to be asked?
They'll be asked about how they see her now, how she relates to them when they visit her in prison, how she is compared to what she would be normally.
And as far as her medical history, I mean, she was treated for depression in 1999. She was also diagnosed with postpartum psychosis, and she had a series of suicide attempts. How is that likely to play into this issue of whether she is competent to stand trial?
Well, that sets some background to talk about her being mentally ill, but really it has nothing to do with how she is today. How her functioning is today is the real question, not her history in the past.
And if she, and you don't know this to be a fact, but if she was incompetent at the time of her arrest, she could also be receiving treatment during her jail time leading up to this hearing that would, in effect, make her competent to stand trial. They could get her in enough of a good shape mentally to actually stand trial. Is that correct?
That's correct, and that's the usual case.
That is the usual case.
That is the usual case. People who have mental illness are able to be restored to competency.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Donald Morgan, forensic psychiatrist, for joining us. Vince?
Well, lots of people have some big concerns about the direction of the economy. We'll talk about them with one of the president's top men. That's just ahead. And remember when Michael Jordan said he was done with the game of basketball? Well, it seems the game plan is a-changin'. Looks like the comeback is on.
Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to work we go.
Hi-ho, hi-ho, hi-ho. If you want happy employees, help secure their financial futures. At the Principal Financial Group, that's what we do. We're the 401k leader and offer financial solutions for you and growing businesses. The Principal Financial Group, we understand what you're working for.
If you don't have the best security, do you really have any? We're #1 in e-business security software. Hello, tomorrow. We are Computer Associates.
Is he the best CEO of our time? GE's Jack Welch joins us to talk about his career and his new book. Plus, what makes Tyco International run like a top? We'll ask CEO Dennis Kozlowski on Lou Dobbs' Moneyline. Tonight, 6 Eastern on CNN.
This is a complete broadband solution with a nitro-powered on switch. This is igniting your mission-critical applications on the fattest optical IP pipe on the planet. This is your business, screaming 1,000 times faster than yesterday. This is moving beyond connected. This is riding the light. This is the technology that makes it happen. Quest, ride the light.
We've got this e-business thing nailed. We know exactly what our customers want.
And we streamlined our supply chain so we could get it to them fast.
We're in Belgium.
Our overseas operation.
How do you do it?
Follow me. Now don't freak out. Please, no pictures. You can do anything with the Black Rocket, the e-business network platform from Genuity.
In other matters today, the House Budget Committee meets in about 2 hours, trying to keep one step ahead of a faltering economy and a president criticized for dealing with it inadequately. Congressional Republicans are putting together spending cuts in case they're needed to show support for Social Security. With more on President Bush's priorities in the current battle of the budget, we go to CNN's John King.
The president's strategy for now is to watch and listen.
Going to Florida today.
Mr. Bush had hoped the economy would get a jolt from his big tax cut and the Federal Reserve's interest rate cuts. But many nervous Republicans in Congress say it is time to do more.
He'll have to look at these other options, and I think it's important that he hear from others what we recommend in the process.
One idea gaining steam is a temporary cut in Social Security payroll taxes. That would put more money in workers' pockets immediately, but also mean less money in the Social Security Trust Fund down the road.
It would undermine one of the long-run objectives of policy right now, which is to strengthen the Social Security system so that it can pay benefits to the baby boomers when they retire.
Cutting capital gains taxes is another idea.
It will clearly cause a growth in the economy. It always does. And as an aside, it brings in more revenue to the government.
But Democrats say cutting capital gains taxes would, for the most part, benefit businesses and wealthy investors, and would love the chance to argue that the president's first instinct in a tough economy was to help the rich.
We want there to be a formula to get us out of this mess. Any one thing is not going to do it. It's not, we can cut spending, that's not going to do it. We can lower taxes, that's not going to do it.
One urgent Bush priority is keeping a promise not to tap the Social Security Trust Fund to pay the government's bills.
Spending cuts likely will be necessary to keep that from happening in the current fiscal year, which ends September 30th, and the administration is in negotiations with key members of Congress. There's also talk about a budget rule that would automatically force spending cuts next year, if necessary, to keep that Social Security money off limits. John King, CNN, the White House.
With more on President Bush's priorities in the current battle of the budget and on the state of the economy, we're joined by his Secretary of Commerce, Don Evans, this morning. Good morning, Mr. Secretary.
Morning, Carol. How are you?
Very well. Thanks for joining us this morning. Let's start with the very beginning. The tax cut has been passed. The checks are still going out. What other ammunition does President Bush have right now to stimulate this economy?
Well, the National Energy Plan that he presented to Congress this last spring, Carol, needs to be passed. I mean, the President, when he took office January of 2001, he talked about tax cuts first. He talked about a national energy plan. You pass a national energy plan, that will bring down energy prices. That will stimulate the economy. That will put more dollars, more disposable income in the hands of the American people. Also, Trade Promotion Authority, which gives the President authority to negotiate trade agreements all around the world. When I talk to American businesses across America, they tell me how important it is that we open up markets for them around the world. There are 130 free trade agreements in the world today. America is only party to 2 of those. So those are 2 initiatives, the National Energy Plan as well as Trade Promotion Authority. They're still in Congress that needs to be passed.
Mr. Secretary, for all intents and purposes, that is a long and winding road for many Americans who are sitting down to breakfast and watching themselves lose their jobs and watching their portfolios go down. In terms of immediate relief, would you recommend, for example, a cut in the capital gains tax?
Carol, will continue to watch these numbers very closely. The President is very concerned about the economy. He's very concerned about the rising unemployment rate. He will continue to listen to his economic advisors. They will continue to present options to him, ideas to him as to ways to further stimulate this economy. As you mentioned, the tax cut rebates are still going out. And so are those rebates helping the economy? You bet they are. How much? It's hard to tell.
But, Mr. Secretary, I'm really trying to pin you down on some specific ideas that Republicans on the Hill are talking about. For example, a cut in the capital gains tax. Right now, it's if you sell a stock and you make a profit and you're in the highest tax bracket, that's a 20% tax that you pay to the federal government. By lowering that, the theory is that you get people to unload some of their stocks, take some profits, stimulate the economy, and the federal government gets some money to boot.
Carol, the president will remain open-minded to these ideas. The president's a good listener. He'll continue to listen. He's an extraordinary leader. He'll lead this economy back to recovery. He'll lead this economy back to the growth rates that are acceptable to him, which are in the 3.5% range. We're not there now. The rates we're seeing now are unacceptable. But the specifics, it's just he hasn't made a decision yet.
What about reducing taxes on payroll?
Again, he'll be open-minded. I mean, you know, there's a whole array of ideas I'm sure that will be presented to him. Those are a couple of them. There will be others. He'll consider those. He'll talk to and listen to not only his advisors, he'll talk to leadership on the Hill, make decisions on down the road based on how the economy looks at the time. We have more important data that will come out this Friday. More data will continue to come out on the economy in the weeks and months ahead, and he'll make decisions at the appropriate time.
Are you concerned that Alan Greenspan is listening as well? Should he have moved more quickly in interest rate cuts, and should he move quickly again?
Well, the chairman has done a terrific job. I mean, interest rates have come down some 300 basis points over the last 7 or 8 months.
But to little effect.
Moved from 6.5% to 3.5%. You know, the chairman has a good sense of this economy, and I'll leave it to him to decide where interest rates should be.
Donald Evans, it sounds like a lot of decisions still to be made by this administration. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Don Evans, Secretary of Commerce Department. Vince?
Well, we're going to go to break now, and Michael Jordan, our big story today. He knows how to give the basketball economy a bounce. We'll tell you why the former Bull says he can still be a whiz on the court. Wizards, that is. And in the next hour of CNN Live at daybreak, one of the biggest dangers in a hurricane may have nothing to do with the storm. We'll be right back.
How can you provide for the future of the people who depend on you? With the power of Pacific Life. For over 130 years, Pacific Life has improved the lives of millions with investments, annuities, and insurance. Because careful planning today can help them reach their dreams tomorrow. Discover the power of Pacific Life.
America trusts America Online to make everything easy.
It's just real simple to keep in touch with AOL.
Oh, I love hearing you've got mail.
Instant messages are so much fun.
And now AOL makes it easier to get health information with WebMD.
I discovered WebMD.
WebMD is America's leading source of health information online. Communities on everything from diabetes to weight loss.
Love the chat room.
A site that I trust.
AOL has got it all.
Now's the perfect time to experience America Online. So easy to use, no wonder it's #1. Call 1-800-4ONLINE.
Get to the point with Greta Van Susteren. It's a full half hour of straight questions and straight answers. The Point, tonight, 8:30 Eastern on CNN.
Are you one of the millions of American males who would like increased sexual energy? If you've been considering Viagra as a solution, consider something different. All-natural Enerx. Clinical studies show various ingredients of Enerx enhance sexual energy, increasing desire, performance, and satisfaction. Enerx is all natural with no side effects. With Enerx, you'll feel the increased energy within minutes and with no chemicals. We're so sure you and your mate will be completely satisfied. We'll offer you a 30-day, no questions asked, full refund. Enerx stimulates sexual energy by expanding the blood vessels, causing increased blood flow to specific areas of the body. Unleash the power of Enerx now.
Call 1-800-367-3614 toll-free, and it will be delivered discreetly to your home. Get results using the safe, all-natural alternative, Enerx.
Larry King Live, tonight, 9 Eastern on CNN.
I think it's a great thing. I believe he's in shape. He's an excellent player.
He's got enough to come back and at least score, a good 20, 21 points a game right now.
If he think he can do it, I think he should. You only live once.
Or maybe twice. Michael's case.
Or maybe 3 times for Michael Jordan. Those are some reactions from Washington, D.C. as Michael Jordan inches closer to his comeback with the Washington Wizards. And we're following that story all this morning. It's 7:30 here here on the East Coast, and this is CNN Live at Daybreak. I'm Vince Giuliani.
And I'm Carol Lynn, also ahead this hour. What's ahead for Elizabeth Dole? We're going to talk to our Bill Schneider about her plan to run for Jesse Helms' Senate seat. She makes that announcement official today in her hometown. And we're going to be talking to Bill in about 10 minutes.
That's right. And we also, well, we heard from the Washington, D.C. angle of this. How about the streets of Chicago?